Miguel Iterati back here at the IBOT Vaults, and this one's about the UFC and UFC 210. UFC 210, now this is a blast of the past from history here. They're going to Buffalo, New York, and the KeyBank Center. I mean, once upon a time, they did a show in Buffalo, and then I think they were scheduled to do one in Buffalo again, and actually had to move it, the octagon and everything, by truck overnight to Alabama, because they were having trouble legalizing and they weren't sure they were going to get the show off. So now they're in Buffalo in the KeyBank Center. It's going to be on pay-per-view, and it's been a long time. UFC 210 main event is light heavyweight action, and this division, still you got John Jones hanging over it like a bad cloud, or what do we expect here? At this point, I think everybody wants Jones to fight, but you got Cormier with the belt. He's facing Anthony Johnson. This is a hell of a fight, and it's a -110 both ways. -110 for Cormier, -110 for Johnson. Over-under, it's a 5-rounder. It's at 1.5 with the over at -150 and the under at +130. So, I mean, Johnson with the big power, Cormier with the thick neck. We're going to see if Cormier finds a way to avoid some shots and get his offense off, or if he's going to be eating some of Johnson's power at some point. Rest of the card is interesting on the pay-per-view, and right now at the books, you even got a flyweight fight that'll pop up at the UFC's Fight Pass at the books as well. But going through the rest of the main card, middleweight action, you got Gegard Mousasi facing Chris Weidman, and this is one that sees Mousasi actually favored at -135, with Weidman paying back at +115. Kind of odd when you consider the fact Weidman was a champion. Weidman's the guy who took out Anderson Silva, and then they asked him to do it again, and he did it again. Sort of getting a little bit of a disrespect, maybe, or, is Weidman's best days behind him? We'll see. Mousasi, an enigma because he's still young, has a ton of fights, but, we've been talking about Mousasi 6-7 years ago, where he was a protege, and he sort of never really has cracked the really top echelon yet. So we'll see. If he beats Weidman, he's on his way to a title shot in a crowded weight class, so we'll see how it goes. Strawweights, we got girls on the main card, and you got Pro Gonzalez coming in as a +220 underdog to Cynthia Calvillo. Calvillo -260. The over-under is 2.5 with the over at -190 and the under at +165. Welterweight action sees Thiago Alves facing Patrick Cote. A couple of sluggers here. Cote favored -160, and Alves paid back at +140. Over under 2.5 with the over at -175 and the under at +155. And then a little bit of a Bellator fighter, Will Brooks, in lightweight action against Charles Oliveira. So you got that little bit of a storyline there. Brooks at -265. Oliveira paying back at +225. So Brooks favored to get a UFC win. Good for him. Over-under is 2.5 with the over at -130 and the under is +110. And like I said, the flyweight fight for the Fight Pass, Janelle Lausa +325 as he faces Magomed Bibulatov. Bibulatov is at -400. Over-under is 2.5 with the over at -210 and the under at +175. I'm Miguel Iterati. I'll probably give you a blog for the rest of the card when it pops up at the books, but that's the main pay-per-view card for UFC 210, April 8th. We'll talk to you after the fights.